Now let us solve one more question on the concept making equations. So far we have solved an elementary question. This is another simple question which we can solve based on this particular concept of making equations. So let us solve another question based on the concept of making equations. This question says a man travels half the distance at a speed of 50 km per hour and the remaining distance at a speed of 80 km per hour, and the total time required is 13 hours. Now, how do you solve this question? In order to solve the question, you should recall that after making a schema, a simple representation of this situation, we have this man traveling from A to B, half the distance, that is d by 2, at 50 km per hour, and the remaining half of the distance at the rate of 80 km per hour. And let us say this point C is the midpoint of A to B. So where have we spent these 13 hours? We have spent 13 hours in two segments, and you would recall that each segment is the distance traveled at the same speed. In this case, one segment this man travels at 50 km per hour, in the other segment this man travels at 80 km per hour. So we have 13 is equal to time traveled in the first segment plus the time taken in the second segment. Now, what is time in the first segment? The distance, that is d by 2, this d by 2, divided by 50 plus the time taken in the second segment can be again d by 2 divided by 80. So this means our equation is equal to 13 is equal to d by 100 plus d by 160. Which yields 13 is equal to 8d by 800 plus 5d by 800, which means the distance d is equal to 800 kilometers, which is our answer. Let us now take a look at another question which is based on a similar concept of making equations. A man has to cover a distance of 100 kilometers in 22 hours. He starts with a speed of 4 km per hour. After covering some distance, he realizes that he is behind his schedule. He therefore increases his speed by 50% of his initial speed. After how many kilometers does he increase his speed? Again, let us draw a simple schematic representation of this situation. So we have this man starting from A and he has to reach B, which is 100 kilometers. And let us assume that he changes his speed at point C, and we don't know after how many kilometers he changes his speed. So let us assume that this distance from A to C is x. And because the total distance from A to B is 100 kilometers, the distance CB can be represented as 100 minus x. The total time again is 22 hours, and this time is again broken into two segments. Segment 1, which represents a speed of 4 km per hour, and segment 2, which represents a 50% increase over this speed, and therefore this will be 6 km per hour. So now we have a simple equation. 22 is equal to, what is the value of t1? X, which is the distance, divided by 4. What is the value for T2? 100 minus x, that is the distance, divided by 6. And if you solve for x, and on solving this further, we have 22 is equal to 3x plus 2 into 100 minus x divided by 12. On simplifying it further, we have 22 into 12 is equal to x plus 200, or x is equal to 64 kilometers. Let us solve another question based on the same concept. Manish starts for his college, which is situated half a kilometer from home, walking at 1 kilometer per hour, to submit an assignment on time. After 3 minutes of walking, he realizes that he has forgotten his assignment at home. He immediately turns back, goes home at an increased speed, picks up his assignment, and proceeds to his college at the same increased speed to reach the college on time for submission. Find the increased speed at which Manish walks. Now I suggest all of you stop this video here and read the question carefully. Try the question once yourself before taking a look at the solution. So let us draw a schema first. So the straight line, you have home as the starting point represented by H. You have college as the end point, which is represented as C. And let us assume that Manish walks for 3 minutes to another point named B. And this is the point from where Manish turns back at an increased speed. So Manish walked a distance HB at his normal speed, and then the distance BH plus HC at his increased speed. Now this enables Manish to his college on time. The first thing we need to know is how much time Manish had to reach his college. As you know, he has to walk half a kilometer and at a speed of 1 kilometer per hour. So what is the time that Manish will take to reach his college? The time which Manish originally planned to reach his college in is given by distance upon speed. What is the distance? The distance is half a kilometer. The speed is 1 kilometer per hour, and therefore Manish will take half an hour to reach his college. And how has he spent this half an hour? He has spent this half an hour 3 minutes in walking to HB, time required to travel to HB, plus time required to travel from B to H and H to C. These are the only two segments, as you noticed. Because once he increases his speed at this point B, he does not reduce it till he reaches back his college. So what is this time THB? This we already know is 3 minutes. Now we need to calculate the time required to travel from B to H and H to C. So we have half an hour is equal to 3 minutes can be converted into hours as 3 by 60 plus. Now what is the distance traveled by Manish in 3 minutes? So the value of HB can be very easily calculated as HB is equal to his speed, that is 1 kilometer per hour, multiplied by 3 divided by 60. Now 3 divided by 60 is nothing but minutes converted into hours. So obviously he traveled a distance of 1 by 20 kilometers. So how much distance does Manish walk at the increased speed. He walks a distance from H to B, that is 1 by 20 kilometers, and then this is 1 by 20 kilometers, and then he walks this complete distance of half a kilometer. So the total distance that Manish walks at the increased speed is 1 by 20 plus 1 by 2, and let us assume his increased speed is x. So on solving this, what do you get? So 1 by 2, on the left hand side you have 1 by 2 minus 1 by 20. This is equal to 11 upon 20x. So on solving this further, what do you get? 1 by 2 minus 1 by 20 is nothing but 9 by 20, which is equal to 11 upon 20x. 20 cancels out. So the value of x is 11 upon 9 kilometer per hour. So we see this is the increased speed at which Manish would have walked in order to reach the college on time. So with this we come to an end of this particular session on how to utilize the concept of making equations to solve questions. So in case you have any queries, or if you want to ask any questions, or if you want to know more, you can visit our website, that is www.pfindia.com, or you can key in your queries to manishkane@gmail.com. Thank you very much.